Mark, good morning to you. So let's talk about the press conference with Warsh at the Fed. I mean, you've been quite a fan of stepping away from forward guidance. We're supposed to pour more attention onto the data and less on the Fed meetings. What did you make of yesterday?
It was a disaster. Just absolutely terrible press conference. As you say, Anna, I'm all in favour of stepping away from forward guidance, returning to where it was 20 years ago, where people actually look at the data. I think we've become stupider over the last 20 years as we wait for Fed officials to translate data that we could have seen a week before. So I'm delighted that we stepped away from forward guidance. And I also think that Warsh had done a great job until yesterday, in terms of that he kind of sounded quite hawkish. As he said, he was letting the markets do his work. I have no particular quibble on the policy decision. Look, it's a very hard job, whether you hold or hike rates. You know what? It was in the balance either way, right? So I'm not going to quibble with any of that. My issue was with the press conference, where he basically undermined the Fed target, kind of saying that, oh yeah, the PCE is the way they're measuring it. Until January, he kind of implied they might have reassessed it then. He kind of talked about that's the one thing they're really targeting, but then talked about a bunch of measures. And then the kind of way he talked as if like he was essentially new to the job and kind of working it out as if he was just going along. And, you know, it would evolve over time. I have to say, it was an extremely disappointing press conference in terms of credibility. It is bad for the dollar. It's bad for long-end bonds. So we're going to continue to see steepness in the curve and weakness in the dollar until that credibility gets back on track.
OK, so you basically got a signal you know what you're doing, and you're questioning that. Would a rate hike restore that credibility, signal that he knows what he's doing?
It might do. I think what's important is, if you're going to look, it's a very hard job. I'm not trying to say this is an easy job to do. But if you're going to step away from forward guidance, well, then don't say things that imply you kind of have no authority to do the job, no idea what's going on, you're kind of feeling your way around it, and that the inflation target may change, and kind of undermine both the committee and the targets and the measurement methods. So it's not specifically, it's the policy, it's the impression you give. And I thought Warsh had done an incredible job up until yesterday. But because expectations were so high, people were actually very optimistic that this was going to be a sensible way to manage policy going forward. Everyone knew there'd be a transition period. The data's going to matter more, which means more cross-asset volatility in the short term as we adjust to that. But ultimately, people thought this was going to be a good sign, and Warsh had kind of conveyed it with authority until yesterday. So that's changed. So, sure, if he's forced into a hike, does that really add to his authority? So if it's kind of seen as, uh-oh, this is a policy mistake, and now he's been backed into a hike he didn't want to do, that doesn't help. So I don't think it's whether it does a hike or not. I think it's the communication going forward. Look, if a politician talks a lot but says nothing, that's kind of admirable, but it doesn't kind of build his validation. It's the same for him. That's kind of crisis policy mode here. He should not imply he doesn't have a clue what's going on just because he doesn't want to say too much forward guidance.